Voluptuous, jacked, swole, massive. But you know what else is massive? Woody Weissman. He is the most jacked 17-year-old bodybuilder I have ever seen. He's got muscle, he's got the brains, he's got the brawn, he's got everything. So in today's video, we're going to be reacting to some of his content to see if I approve of it, as I am a year older than him. So even though I am smaller, you have to respect your elders.
The greatest upper body day that I hit in Seoul, South Korea. I started off with the frontal pull down. This machine is heinous.
This guy is so lucky. I go to a commercial gym. All the machines suck. They feel awkward, the resistance profile is off, they're hard to progressively overload, but this machine looks like it's the exact opposite of all those things.
Keep your body upright and don't lock out at the top, otherwise the lats are going to lose leverage.
Maybe not lock out your arms entirely, but I would still let your scapula fully retract and pull up just so you can get a deep stretch in those lats at the top.
An upper back bias row, try keep your elbows more flared than I'm doing, and it's as simple as that.
Another great exercise selection. This kid's got it all. And I say kid being 1 year older than him. A machine row is an amazing movement for the upper back. This is probably objectively the best upper back exercise. Again, only 2 sets. I would probably do maybe 1 or 2 more sets on all of these exercises. But other than that, it's looking really good so far.
Try beat your logbook.
Try beating your logbook is really important. I have a lot of friends who are like, but it doesn't matter how much weight you lift. It's about the mind-muscle connection. It doesn't matter how good your mind-muscle connection is. If you haven't lifted any heavier or done any more reps in 2 years, you haven't gotten stronger and you haven't built any muscle. It's as simple as that. Progressive overload is the key foundation to your training.
For the side delts, a machine lateral raise, you can use cables or dumbbells, but almost always a machine is going to be superior.
Are machines truly superior? A lot of people argue which is better, free weights or machines. The differences in hypertrophy probably aren't as vast as some people make them out to be. A lot of people make physiological inferences and say things like, well, motor neuron recruitment is better when something's stable, therefore there's more growth. But most studies have found that free weights and machines build about the same amount of muscle. A lot of these studies are in beginner lifters. You can't treat them as the gospel, but for the most part, I would say is a really good machine better than a free weight by a very small proportion? Maybe. But most machines in commercial gyms suck. When you're at your gym, figure out, is this machine good? Does it have a good resistance profile, i.e. either a smooth one throughout the entire range of motion or having more tension in the stretch? And is the machine easy to load up and progressively overload on? And does it feel good? Because some machines aren't built for everybody's anatomy.
To grow them, you don't need excessive volume. 4 to 6 sets per muscle per week is optimal.
4 to 6 sets is a bit low. Typically, more volume does equate to more gains if you're able to recover from it. So what I would say is start at lower volumes. Over the next few months, slowly add a set here or a set there. And if you're still progressing, then you can keep adding a few sets. Now, because of the lower diminishing returns, I personally wouldn't go past maybe 8 to 12 sets per week, because doing any more sets than that, the stimulus to fatigue ratio is going to be really off balance, with it being far more fatiguing than it is stimulatory.
And I don't know why you guys dislike training biceps. In my opinion, they're the most fun muscle group to train.
Yeah, because they only do one thing, or technically 2 things, but no one's training this function, they're only training this function. Biceps are very boring to train. The back is probably the most fun muscle group to train, at least in my opinion. Maybe wondering, Nerdy Ant, why should I listen to you? He's twice your size. That's true. You should never listen to only one source for your hypertrophy research. You should always look at a variety of different sources, YouTubers, studies, etc., and then come to your own conclusion as objectively as possible. Keep in mind that while yes, the reason he's big is obviously going to be his consistency and work ethic, minus that, 80% of the reason why he's as jacked as he is because of his genetics. If you have really good genetics, it can be the difference between building 15 pounds of muscle in your first year of training and only 5. So keep that in mind when you're watching someone if they're giving advice, because sometimes it's a bit dodgy. His advice is pretty good, but sometimes people give very dodgy advice, and then people watching them assume that, well, he's jacked, therefore, if I do that, I'm gonna look like him. But your exact volume, your exact rep range, your exact training program only makes up a small percentage of what ends up making you as jacked as you are.
How many sets should you do weekly to optimize muscle growth? For instance, this is my second set of biceps for upper A. On upper B, I'll do another the exercise for 2 sets, which means my total volume for the week is 4 sets for biceps. I usually shoot for 1 to 2 reps in reserve to minimize fatigue and maximize.
I'm gonna be honest,
my
when you're
stimulus.
doing this little volume, which is definitely not optimal, I'm gonna be honest, you'll get like 80-90% of your gains anyway, but when you're doing lower volume, you kind of have to push the intensity more because 4 sets is not gonna create a ridiculous amount of fatigue, and you're definitely gonna be able to recover from it. You wanna be training near your maximum recoverable volume. This comment here by Web17MD makes a really good point though. Optimal volume for you might not be for someone else. If that was the case, you would see way more pros work out the same way, but they just don't. Not saying it doesn't work for you, but I guarantee it wouldn't work for me. Personally, I do about 12 sets per week for my back, my chest, a bit more for my legs, and I recover perfectly fine and I'm growing amazingly from it. But you might only recover from 10 sets per week, or maybe you can do 14 sets per week. I would start low, slowly increment upwards, and see what you're capable of recovering from.
The 0.5 kilo is the new meta. As you all know, if we want to grow, we have to be progressively overloading, either adding reps or weight.
Yes! Yes! Love Woody. I love him because he's been saying what I've been telling my friends in the gym for so long. If you are not progressively overloading, you are not building muscles. Stop changing your exercises every single session or every single week. Stick to the same exercises for months and get stronger at all of them. If you plateau on 1 or 2 particular movements and you can't progress, of course you can swap them out. But most of your key exercises should remain almost the same. Progressive overload is key. And having 0.5 kilogram plates is an amazing idea. My gym only has the 1.25 kilogram plates, but I believe they're like $10 a 0.5 kilo plate, so I might just buy them for myself so I can up my bench press by only 1 kilo at a time. Because trust me, once you're past that first year or 2 of training, I'm only in my 3rd year now, it gets really hard to add 2.5 kilos each session, or even adding 1 or 2 reps each session. Being able to go up in smaller increments just makes progressive overload that much easier. So you're telling me I wasted 3 years bulking, cutting, and training push-pull legs of 8 to 12 reps. Well, you got this jacked over doing that stuff, so you clearly didn't waste your time. You're like twice my size. Now, are these things a waste of time? Bulking, if you're already at a healthy body fat range, there's no need to do a massive bulk. A 100 to 200 calorie surplus is perfectly fine. Cutting, again, if you're already quite lean, you can main gain to getting leaner, which is when you eat at maintenance calories and you put on muscle while losing fat, but you're gonna lose fat far slower than if you did an actual cut. So if you wanna get super lean, at some point you are gonna have to cut, especially if you're starting off your journey overweight. So it really depends on your current body fat level and how much muscle you have to determine if you really should be cutting or not. Push-pull legs is a perfectly fine split. What I would do instead of training 6 days per week is add an extra rest day in between, because you still have enough frequency, but you don't have to worry about training 6 days in a row and just completely gassing yourself. 8 to 12 reps, anything within 5 to 30 reps stimulates the exact same growth, but higher reps do cause more kinds of fatigue, but they also are a little bit better for your joints, ligaments, connective tissues, and reduce the chance of injury. Anybody who tries to give you very black and white fitness advice on the more minute variables in hypertrophy training is not necessarily someone you're always going to want to follow. I do think Woody is still someone you should follow, so I'm going to put his Instagram in the description down below, but these black and white statements don't really hold true for everybody, and for the most part, whether you do 5 reps or 10 reps, the difference in your gains is going to be very small. Very, very small. But that is going to be the end of this video right here. Woody Weissman, he's a smart guy, he knows what he's doing, and he is jacked with amazing genetics. Check out his Instagram, I'll link it in the description down below. A like, follow, and subscribe to this channel for more videos. But for now, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.
And so the first thing I noticed is creatinine levels are through the roof. People who abuse steroids, it's often harmful on the kidneys. And so if you have elevated creatinine levels, there's a good chance that you have experienced some form of damage and it's from taking steroids. And his levels are through the roof. Creatine kinase, we can see it's through the roof. It's 449. It's not a yellow dot, it's a red. And so what were his testosterone levels? 21.4 nanomoles per liter. If you convert it to nanograms per deciliter, it's 617. And so very good. Not below average, not above average. His bioavailable testosterone, 11.24. That's the testosterone he's using. That's in the high normal. based on the blood work, based on the evidence, this guy, 1 in a million genetics. Do you now believe him? I never believed him, but the proof is in the pudding, and we've analyzed it. We have to conclude 100% natural.
Being called natty by Greg is an achievement. It is an achievement, and here we have Baby Yoda. He can sense steroids flowing through people's veins, but despite his strong force abilities, he just cannot sense the steroids flowing through Hussein Farhat's veins. That is because he may have the best genetics out of anybody on social media at the moment. He is the biggest natural I think I have ever seen, that you have probably ever seen. So today, me and Baby Yoda are going to react and critique some of his content to see if that's the reason why he's as big as he is. Baby Yoda, stop crying. It's okay. Stop crying. I know you didn't like that second chest exercise. Stop crying. It's okay. Now, Baby Yoda's crying because the high to low cable fly targets primarily the lower chest, which is hit in literally every single pressing movement. So doing a fly that specifically isolates it is probably a waste of time. It's probably slightly better to do a low to high cable fly so you can hit more of that upper chest, but it's not a bad exercise by any stretch of the imagination. It is still a very good option for hypertrophy. The rest of these exercises are absolutely amazing. Let me know your favorite chest movement in the comment section down below.
Steroids are dangerous and should not be normalized in fitness.
Before Hussein answers this question, one thing I will say is the only time you should take steroids, and I'm sure Hussein would agree with this, is if you've been training for at least 5 to 10 years naturally and you put on way more muscle than everybody else and you know for sure you have the genetics to be a world-class bodybuilder or a powerlifter, but you're simply missing that pharmaceutical leap to be a pro bodybuilder or to be a pro powerlifter. If you're not going to compete in those sports, and if you do not have the genetics to even be able to compete at the highest level in the first place, there is precisely no reason you should be sabotaging your health and dealing with all of these side effects just for what? Your ego, so you can look big?
There's no reasons why, if you're just a regular lifter, someone who just wants to stay in shape, look good, feel good, be able to live longer, there's no reasons why you should hop on. It shouldn't be normalized.
I absolutely love the shots towards Togi in this video. He's not wrong. Almost everybody can achieve a pretty good physique, or at the very least can significantly improve their physique with proper weight training, proper nutrition, and proper sleep. But Baby Yoda, he's crying once again. It's okay, Baby Yoda, it's okay. He's crying. Why is Grogu crying? Because of the comment section. Claiming Natty is deceptive to the youth. Stop lying. I understand why people do think he's not natural. I didn't think he was natural when I first saw him, but look at his face. He has a very lean face. There's no water bloating. He's only 22, I believe. He looks 22. He doesn't look like he's 40. Those are the most common signs of steroid use. That and acne, gynecomastia. He has none of the side effects of steroid use. But as I showed you guys in the intro by basically stealing Greg's video, he doesn't have ridiculously elevated levels of testosterone or anything else that would indicate he's definitely on steroids. Baby Yoda is very jealous of those genetics. He's like 1'3", so he's already screwed genetically. But what that means is he'll be able to fill out his frame much faster than I can at like 5'8". I understand where this video is coming from. It's trying to tell you that you don't know if you have good genetics unless you train, and that you can achieve a similar physique to him. But when you do have 1 in a million genetics, making videos like this, it can come off as a little bit condescending. Literally is beyond elite genetics. Stop downplaying it. I don't think that was his intention, but this comment also highlights it quite well. Yes, he has elite genetics, but are we just supposed to stop everything just because there's someone who has better genetics than us? Exactly. Do your best with the cards that you were dealt with, because you'll probably be surprised at what you can achieve naturally. Close grip dumbbell press targets the lateral and medial head of the tricep. Keep in mind that you're pretty much always hitting all 3 heads to some extent. The long head is a bit different than the other 2 heads of the tricep because it is bioarticular, which means it crosses the elbow joint and the shoulder joint. So it is stretched better when your arm is pulled overhead. So hopefully we'll see some sort of overhead movement in this video to stretch out the long head a little bit better. Dumbbell skull crusher, nice for the long head. I approve so far. and chest supported tricep kickbacks. They're not horrendous, they're just kind of awkward because the resistance profile is so ridiculous that it makes it hard to progressively overload. Absolutely no tension in this stretch, but it's not horrendously bad. I understand that there's a common trend in the fitness space to say that, oh, if you do more than one heavy set, your nervous system, it won't be able to handle the fatigue. You're just gonna crumble and break into a million pieces. But truthfully, your body can probably handle a little bit more volume than 1 to 2 sets per exercise. It's not bad advice, but for beginners, they actually can, according to literature, handle more volume than advanced lifters. This is actually advice that's better suited to advanced lifters, not beginners, but I still think it's decent advice, especially if you are short on time. But that is Hussein Farhat's fitness advice and alleged steroid use allegations. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. That'll be the end of this video right here. Thank you very much for watching, and me and Baby Yoda will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. I was going to go to bed, as you can see by my beautiful pajamas, and I have started to fix up my new lighting setup, but then I stumbled across some bullshit, and I had to make a video. This content actually made me spew, not only because it's completely incorrect, as you can see here.
If you want to master your body mechanics, try going eyes closed or using a blindfold. Not only does this require greater stability and motor control, but it also exposes imbalances
this guy
and
has a
asymmetries.
PhD in exercise physiology, the same degree Dr. Mike has. Dr. Mike already made an entire video debunking this guy's crap, but we're just gonna make fun of it. I'm not actually gonna be very sciencey, but we're still gonna learn something today, folks.
All of the latest research confirms 90 degrees is best for muscle growth. My new YouTube video explains.
Why is this wrong? Well, first of all, he's basically doing a short lengthened partial, which is when you only do the contractile portion of the range of motion. This has actually been proven 1 billion times to be far worse than full range of motion or long length partials, where you stay in the lengthened position. And it's not better for your joints, like he tries to claim in the caption. Do you know why? Because you're using 4 plates. You're using 180 kilos. If you had done a full rep, you could have used 120 or 140 kilos, which means that there's less overall weight that your joints have to support. So it'd probably be better for your joints, god damn it. We have my brain juice, and I want you guys to play a game at home. Take a shot every time he says something objectively wrong. I took a shot out of my brain juice. What am I watching? What am I watching? Why are there 2 resistance bands either side of him like this? And he's using way too much weight. Why does he have a... Why does he have a belt with the weight attached to his hips, and then he's doing a Zercher squat at the same time? What's happening? Your bench press technique with this, 115 pounds each? He has to be taking the piss. There's no way he's being serious. He has to be taking the piss. I refuse to believe he's being serious. What the hell is this? Oh my god. Like, everything is stupid. This one's not too stupid. This one's actually, I don't know why he's twisting. That one isn't too dumb. I don't even know what that is. What? He's like spinning it. Why? That can't be for hypertrophy, because that's so weird. Pull-ups with resistance bands and chains. Resistance bands can break, by the way. That's very dangerous. And like he has a plate on his legs. Oh my god, what's happening? Oh my god. What's this? Why does he only have weight on one side? Oh my god. Why do you have a barbell and you have these chains attaching to the plates? Why not put the plates on the side of the barbell? That's what it's built for. What the fuck is this? I forgot to take my shot. I usually try and be nice and informative in these videos, but what is this? I don't know how else to respond to it. It's so funny though. It's actually so funny. I'm going through these posts very randomly, by the way. I'm not even trying to lie to you. You can see them all. I'm screen recording it. Why are there resistance bands up here? Why? There's no actual weight here. What's he doing? Why? I don't understand. We have eccentric isometrics, and eccentric is when you're lowering the weight, and isometric is when you keep the weight stable. That's a contradiction of terms and is absolutely incorrect. What are you even training here? He's just pulling to his crotch. What's happening? He's blindfolded. Why are you blind? I'm not gonna hear you out. I don't care what you have to say. There's no reason to be blindfolded. This is really dangerous. It's so much harder to coordinate when you can't see. He has to be taking the piss. Why are you only pulling one side? You can get like a D handle attachment on the cable where you only have to pull one side. No, this is not it. That's the end of this video. I'm done. This is ridiculous. I've taken way too many shots. You guys are way too drunk. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. But for now, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. This man is a clown. He lies to you, telling you that squatting blind will somehow lead to more gain. That doing half reps and these 90-degree joint angles are going to lead to the most muscle growth and the healthiest joints. In my last video, I basically just bullied him for having really ridiculous setups. But in today's video, we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into the science behind why this guy with a PhD is still an idiot. The first video I wanted to show you guys is him doing squats with really good range of motion, really good form, and him saying, deep squats and large range of motion ruined my joints. Let's read the caption here because there's a lot of ridiculous shit that he says in the caption. Deep squats wrecked me. New YouTube vid, I critique my squat form from 10 to 13 years ago and compare it to now. I used to be a big advocate for full ROM, including deep squats. I even had clients like I botched that, I'm sorry. Do deep lunges, deep squats, deep push-ups, and cambered bar bench press to get that large stretch. But it destroyed my body and gradually did the same to clients. Once we switched to 90-degree eccentric isometrics,
Hey yo, what the fuck?
it healed everyone, and everyone gained more muscle and strength while optimizing their mobility since tissue health improved so much. So let's break this down and analyze why this is completely wrong. First of all, eccentric isometrics. You don't have to go to school to know that makes no sense. An eccentric is when you lower the weight, and isometric is where you hold the weight. So because of that, an eccentric isometric is a load of bullshit, and it's physically impossible to do one of those, and it healed everyone, and everyone gained more muscle. You would not gain more muscle because you were basically doing a half rep. Instead of stopping here on the bench press, you would stop it about here, and a lot of the new research shows that you might grow better from a deep stretch, and that's commonly debated in the science-based community. But we can all agree that a full ROM at the bare minimum is going to be far superior than just doing this all the time, and every single study ever has backed this up. So that's completely wrong, and then there's this whole idea of it being better for your joints. This is not true at all, and the reason why it's not true at all is because you are using way more weight to achieve these half reps. You're putting your joints under more stress, under more tension than if you had done a full range of motion. Overall, to conclude, to make some key points, as he does, everything he said is completely incorrect. Anybody who tries to make up a problem and give you this grand solution that's meant to revolutionize everything, and it's like, everybody was instantly healed, I instantly lost 20 pounds. Anybody who offers miracle solutions is a charlatan you should avoid, because there is no such thing as a miracle solution.
Between the pressure of social media and the current snowflake mentality, as well as lack of training results from faulty training methods, it's no wonder many people are using steroids. Use 90-degree eccentric isometrics.
I'm sorry, him saying it instead of reading in the caption is so funny. Again, anybody who says there's this big problem where no one's building muscle, everyone's but if you follow my random tidbit, you'll grow all the muscle in the world. Anybody who offers miracle solutions is a absolute bullshit. The real reason why steroids are ruining the fitness industry is because a lot of people are just not very smart. There's no other way of saying it. Kids are very, very impressionable, and they will copy what their idols do. This obsession with being as big as possible has caused people to just take steroids and not think about it because they want to get as big as they can. I think the problem is how normalized steroids are. We should be treating steroids as an absolute last resort only if you want to compete in bodybuilding professionally and if you've been training 5 to 10 years. We shouldn't be having these people on Jesse James West's video.
This is a 14-year-old on steroids, but he's not the only one. Taking steroids as a teenager has become a massive trend, and so has posting about it online.
I'm 19, I'm on steroids, and I'm proud about it.
They're taking steroids after a year of training. That should not be happening. A big problem is people want to copy the people they look up to. For example, Sam Sulek. And I had known people who would drink 2 gallons of chocolate milk to be just like him. If you're making content on the internet, you need to be open about your steroid use, and you also have to not do anything stupid on camera. So if you're gonna drink 2 liters of chocolate milk, don't film it. People will copy you. The reality is, unfortunately, if you exist and you're on steroids and you're famous and you have a good physique, you help normalize steroids. Even if you say they're bad, I think we need to get more natural lifters to the top of social media and less enhanced lifters. Of course, both of them, if they have good content, deserve to be famous and popular, but I think we need some more naturals in the fitness industry is what I'm saying.
If you want to master your body mechanics, try going eyes closed or using a blindfold. Not only does this require greater stability and motor control, but it also exposes imbalances.
This is a fucking terrible idea. This doesn't help you improve anything versus not being blindfolded. If you can't see and all your senses are gone, you can't coordinate properly. It's a lot harder to coordinate when you're blindfolded and you can't hear and you can't feel anything. So this is probably just going to lead to more injury. His entire point is his 90-degree eccentric isometric, which I just debunked in this video. So make sure to subscribe to this channel for more awesome lighting as I finally figured out how to get my softbox working. But for now, I want to thank all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.